Happy New Year. DJ Vinyl Vertical here, and I'm saying Happy New Year to the VC. And I wasn't going to do this because I felt that being somebody who's really busy playing music out and also having a radio show where I have to listen to a lot of music all the time, and also with my regular job and just life in general, it's really hard to really listen to music that intently where you say, these are my favorite albums. But I saw so many good ones out there, and I figure everybody's as busy as I am. I'm nothing special that way. So I could do mine. I could have done my favorite songs for 2023, but that would get really, really involved. So I have a lot of releases that I really, really like for 2023, but I didn't get everything on vinyl. So I'm only going to stick to the ones that I got on vinyl for the year 2023. And I went through my whole list and I was like, wow, I got a lot of really good stuff this year. So why don't I just share my 10 favorites in no particular order. I just pulled them, and I might have missed a thing or two. And I just want to say, I'm going to give a little shout out to my extra record, which is, my, oh, my brain's not working right now. But anyway, the Rolling Stones. They're not one of my 10, but because they are the Rolling Stones and because they are the age that they are to put out a record after all these years and still be touring and still going strong, I have to give them a little credit. So they're my honorable mention. The Rolling Stones. Hackney Diamonds. It's not exactly my favorite Stones album, but it does have really good songs on there. And they got Lady Gaga to sing on there with them. Come on. And she really does a good job on Sweet Sounds of Heaven. The lead single, Angry, I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it. There's some other songs that I like better than that one. But again, it's not my favorite of the year. But because it's the Stones and because these guys are legends and they're still going strong, I got to give it to them, at least my honorable mention. Okay? Get that out of the way, because people probably say, well, why didn't you pick the Stones? Well, I said the Stones, okay? All right. And again, this is not in any order, and this is my opinion from my taste and not anybody else's. So I just want to say that right off the bat. There's plenty of other releases out there that I'm sure are wonderful and great and just as good as what I'm going to show you. But this is just from my collection and from what I like, and it's my opinion. And it's only the vinyl stuff, because there's stuff that I have on CD, absolutely love. But I'm not showing those. GA20. I know I've been talking about this band. I love the Coal Mine label and the Kaiser, Karma Chief label as well. They work in cahoots with each other. And these guys, Pat Rafferty, Matthew Stubbs, and Tim Carman, this trio is a mind blower of a blues band. And they take this, I think it's Memphis blues that they do, and they modernize it and they make it theirs. This is their live version, Live in Loveland. Tracks on here that are really good. Lonely Soul, I Let Someone In, Just Because, Cracking Up, By My Lonesome, I Cry For You. Some really great tracks on there. It's a gatefold. It's got, looks like notes from recording and stuff. Really good album. Anything by GA20, I highly recommend. They don't have that many records, but what they have is really good. My radio station, WMNF, at my request, added them into last year's Tropical Heatwave Festival, and they were definitely, I mean, people didn't know who they were, but by the end of the festival, everybody was talking about GA20. So WMNF was like, Scott, that was a great suggestion. I said, yeah, listen to me in the future. Listen to me, because I know music and I know good bands. So they were definitely one of the favorites for last year's Tropical Heatwave. in Tampa, in Ybor City. This young lady from England, I talked about her before. I think I recently talked to her in a recent video. Stuff that I think people should know about. I'm just going to briefly talk about this again. This is called Soft Machine, from a young lady by My Soft Machine by Arlo Parks. Singer-songwriter, very young. She's about 22 years old now. This is her second album, and it's really good. She's a poet as well, and you can tell by her lyrics this woman's a poet, and she's definitely someone to be reckoned with. She's a great artist. Has a very soft voice, but her lyrics have a very, very mature attack. So she's got this cutesy little voice, but she says some heavy-duty stuff, and she's amazing. Arlo Park, I definitely highly recommend Arlo Park. Great artist. Another wonderful artist. This guy is with a band called The Indications. He's one of the singers. His name is Durand Jones. This record is called Wait Till I Get Over. It came early on in 2023. And this is a very raw and naked and just heartfelt album. Very soulful. This is like real old style soul, but has kind of like a modern twist to it. He talks about his hometown and how he grew up, and being a person who is, I believe he's bisexual, and him dealing with that kind of stuff, living where he lived, and some of the songs kind of address that a bit. He's just full disclosure on this record. I mean, we didn't know anything about this guy, but this album really pulls it all out, and it is just a wonderful record, a real soulful record. It's almost even gospel-y at sometimes. Just really wonderful. There's some of the great songs on here is Lord Have Mercy, I Want You, Wait Till I Get Over. It's amazing. See It Through. Someday We'll All Be Free, he does on this one. Letter to My 17-Year-Old Self. Full disclosure on this. Just a great record. Yeah, you definitely need to sit down and give it a good listen. You can listen to it just like while doing other stuff and think it's a great soul album, but when you really listen to it, you know you're peeking into this guy's diary. It's really cool. And this is Durand Jones. He's from Durand Jones and the Indications, but this is a solo record. Wait Till I Get Over. Some really great stuff. All right. Next up, another singer-songwriter who's paying tribute to another singer-songwriter, Amos Lee. I got this at Record Store Day. I think this was the Black Friday. This is really interesting record. The first time you listen to it, you go, okay, it's a covers album. This is Amos Lee paying tribute to the songs of Lucinda Williams. It's called Honeysuckle Switches. And he gets you right away with Are You All Right? But when he gets into Fruits of My Labor, I'm settled in. Songs on here are Get Right With God, Compassion, Everything Has Changed, Greenville, Little Angel, Little Brother, Sweet Old World. You know that one. That's a classic from Lucinda Williams. I Envy the Wind, West. That's the title track to her record called West. Bus to Baton Rouge. Yeah, Amos Lee, you can never go wrong with him. He wears his heart on his sleeve when he writes stuff, and he actually takes these songs and he makes them his own. It's just a really wonderful collection and a tribute to Lucinda Williams, who, I wouldn't mind doing a couple of tributes to her myself. She's really a fabulous singer, a songwriter. So he does that, and that's just pretty brand new. Another one that I got Record Store Day on Black Friday, and I was surprised how popular this was. I didn't think a lot of people were going to go for it, because a lot of people, not a lot of people, but people have a tendency to hear a lot of people kind of blow him off a little bit because he plays vibes, and he does the exotica at times, or what people consider to be exotica instead of pure jazz, or he does like this Latin kind of tinged thing, but some people don't find it authentic. I do. Cal Tjader, phenomenal record. This is called Catch the Groove, but a lot of people caught on to this one. I think this kind of woke a lot of people up to Cal Tjader. I think people will start paying more attention to Cal Tjader as a serious jazz artist. When you check this out, it's a live recording, live at the Penthouse from 1963 to 1967. It's a trifold, 3 records. And it is exhaustingly good. I mean, you put this one on, and I'm telling you, it's something to sit down with, but it's also a great party record too. You could put this on when you have company over, like cocktails and stuff, and people will be grooving to this. It's very cool. He does standards in here. Take the A Train. He does Brubeck's In Your Own Sweet Way. He does show tunes like It Never Ended My Mind by Rodgers and Hart. He does some Brazilian stuff. Mania de Carnaval by Jobim. He does some his originals like Leite and Davito. He does Green Dolphin Street, Love for Sale, but in the way that he did the Shadow of Your Smile's on here as well. Lush Life is on here. Along Came Mary. This is a fantastic, fantastic record. And like I said, this was a very, very much talked about record. And this was one of the records that was never before released. Cal Tjader in the 1960s recorded at the Penthouse Jazz Club in Seattle. And it's just incredible. I just think it's just a wonderful record. Great photos in there. Pancho Sanchez is on here, Eddie Palmieri, Joe Locke, Gary Burton, Carl Burnett, Brett Fisher, and many, many others. And it's a Jazz Detective release. So, you know, Mazzy had a conversation with Zev Feldman on this. Zev Feldman has put out some wonderful, those Ahmad Jamal, the Ahmad Jamal series. Well, this is another one in his collection. And I think people, when they paid attention to Zev doing these other recordings, I think they kind of said, well, let me check out this. People were snapping this up like crazy. If you see this around, which I doubt that you see anybody sitting around, if you do see one, pick one up. It's really wonderful. It's heavy. Oh, gosh. All right. Next up, this gentleman, we've been waiting for something for him for some time now. And I actually got a chance to interview him before the album came out, and only when he had the one single, which was the title track to his latest release. And I'm talking about Michael Franti. Michael Franti and Spearhead, Big Big Love. It's really good. I think it's his most accessible. I think he's becoming more and more accessible all the time. People go, oh, he's been doing stuff that's really popular. Yeah, one record song here, one record there. But this album is really accessible. He's really living a good life now. And I think he's centered, and has come to terms with a lot of things, because he's all about love and peace within, and sharing that with everyone. And he used to have a lot of anger, a lot of angst, and he also was very anti this and anti that, but now he's being very pro. And what I mean by pro is being proactive, but proactive with a lot of compassion and love. And I think that's what he's all about these days. You know, he's like, you know, fight the power, but also there's got to be a lot of love there. And he's got, you know, Big Big Love is a big song for him. Good Life. Vibe Check is really good. He's got fun stuff in here too, because like he's got a song called Happy is the New Sexy, which is really fun. All Night Long Forever, Thinking About You. Vibe Check is a lot of fun. My Kind of Party, that's a party song. Hands Up to the Sky. And he's just a lot more content with life, I think. And I think that's a good place to be. Michael Franti and Spearhead. You know? And always liked him, loved him when he was in the Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy. That's when I first saw him. The first time I ever saw him was when he was in that group in Central Park, when he was doing a free concert out there. And I was like, who are these guys? They're incredible, you know? Great hip-hop guys, but they're not just plain old hip-hop. These guys are doing more than just that. And then I saw him develop into Spearhead, and then Michael Frontine Spearhead, and you know, the rest is history. And I've seen him, I don't know how many times I've seen him now. Probably about 10 times. He's really wonderful. This was a great, from regular Record Store Day, I guess back in April, I guess it was, of 2023. This is a special limited edition compilation record called Holy Church of Ecstatic Soul, A Higher Power, the Gospel, Funk, and Soul at Crossroads from 1971 to 83 by Soul Jazz Records. This is a fun record. If you don't, I mean, a lot of people have been getting into gospel, but they don't know where to go. This is a nice starter. It's got really great, it's got legends on this record. It has songs that I've never heard before, and it has songs that I have heard before, but didn't know how to place them, you know, because I've heard them. But now I have them on all on one record. Andre Crouch and the Disciples, Shirley Caesar's on here, the Clark Sisters, Swan Silvertones, Alvin Darling Ensemble, Roscoe Robinson, Keith Barrow, Dyson Faces, just incredible stuff. I can go through all the songs, but I mean, I don't know if you know the songs, maybe? Yeah. Shirley Caesar sings Stevie Wonder's Jesus Children of America. So she turns into a complete gospel thing. But it's a worship record, but it's so good. It's kind of funky. It's kind of soulful. It's good. It's really good. I picked this up and I said, I wonder if this is one to pick up. I might be making a mistake on this. It's a comp. It just might not flow well. It flows very well. They curated a really good compilation of gospel. Because sometimes some gospel compilations are just kind of, they're just done and nothing makes sense. It's just a bunch of gospel songs. But this really flows really well. It really, really does. So that's really good. Got 3 more to go. This record, I always buy these because every Record Store Day they have one. And some of them are really excellent. Some of them have songs that I have on other records, so I feel like I'm buying these over again. But I like the curation of these. The last one that was out, I wasn't really into. I think you know what I'm talking about, Jazz Dispensary. The newest one, the one that's called At the Movies, is a must-have. First of all, the artwork alone is really good. I think I talked about this in another video as well. The inner is really cool. Talks about the movies. It's all black exploitation films. The vinyl is very nice. This has Melvin Van Peebles, who's also was the director, and he's Mario Van Peebles' father. He's a director, producer, and he has put together this, I guess he's a musician as well. Booker T and the MGs, the Blackbirds are on here. Isaac Hayes, Charles Earland, Steve Krantz Animation Incorporated. But what really got me was the Ed Bogas and Ray Shanklin songs on here. The Riot and BJ Steps. Those are so funky and so good. But this is a fantastic from beginning to end. There's not a bad track on this record. There's not a sleeper or filler on this at all. This is a party record all the way. It is funky. It puts a smile on your face. It makes you want to go and see the movies. It's really good. You want to see these black exploitation films and see why the music sounds like this. You want to just see the bell bottoms and the afros and the leisure suits and the sunglasses, and oh man, it just brings me back. It makes me think of Ebony and Jet magazine. It's good stuff. This is fun. I'm telling you, if you pick this up and you haven't opened it yet, because I know sometimes I'm like that, I'll get stuff at Record Store Day and it'll take me forever to listen to it. Open it up, put it on your turntable and burn it up. It's really good. It's really, really good. The next two are reissues. I got a few of those, but I got a lot of those on CD. Like I said, I got a lot of really great releases on CD, and maybe I might do one that's just CD for you CD guys out there. But tonight, this is all about vinyl. I don't want to go over half an hour. This I've been wanting for a very long time. I had some of his other records. There were reissues and also originals, but I used to have this in New York City, but when I left New York and moved to Florida, I couldn't take all my records with me, and there's a whole story about how I lost all those records, but I don't even want to talk about those right now because it makes me want to cry. Those are gone. I'll never see them again, and this is one of them that was in my lost collection, but now I have it again. It's a reissue, and that's okay. I'm happy to have it. It's Frank's Wild Years by Tom Waits. This is the first Tom Waits record I ever bought back in the day. And I knew who he was. I knew his music, but I never bought his stuff. But this is the first one I ever bought of his, just by the name. I didn't even know what it sounded like. I just picked it up. I was at Tower Records or wherever. I think it was Tower Records. And I picked this up and I go, it's Tom Waits. I like Tom Waits. I never bought any Tom Waits. But this looks interesting. He's holding an accordion, and there's a champagne glass. What's going on here? Oh, this is a journey. This is a trip. This is a dream sequence. It's so good. It starts off with Hang On St. Christopher, going straight to the top, Blow and Blow, Temptation. I mean, I think you've heard a lot of these songs. You've heard them in movies and stuff. Innocent When You Dream. It's a theatrical piece. I feel like this should be a Broadway show just for this. I know he's done Broadway stuff, but this should be a Broadway show for this. And I think he did do something that was similar to a Broadway show when he put this album out. I didn't get to see it, but I can just imagine what it looked like. There's also More Than Rain, Way Down in the Hole, Straight to the Top, the Vegas version where he sounds like Sinatra. I'll Take New York, and then he says Telephone Call from Istanbul, which is a classic tune from him. Cold, Cold Ground. It's just, oh my God, it's a great, great record. Innocent When You Dream, that's how it ends. Tom Waits, this is, to me, it's one of his best. And I think, other than Closing Time, I think for me, if anybody didn't know Tom Waits, I think this is where you should start and go back from there, and then go forward if you're still feeling courageous. But this is one that you could put on, and I think most people wouldn't run away. They wouldn't be afraid. It's interesting. They probably would raise their eyebrows a little bit, but I think they'd sink into it because it's a lot of fun, and it's very interesting. It's very descriptive. I really like this record. All right, and I mean descriptive in terms of character, you know. All right, the last one is a band that the guitar player from this band is the guitar player. He also has solo stuff, but he's also the guitar player for the Black Pumas now. But he was in this band before that, and I think he still collaborates in this band. Ocote Soul Sounds with Adrian Quesada. I had this years ago, and I still have it on CD, but I never had it on vinyl, and it just got released. It's a soundtrack. It just got released on Record Store Day 2023, and this is called El Niño y el Sol, original motion pictures. It's all, it's just a soundtrack. It's music background for a film. And it's Latin music, but it's funky Latin music. It's very funky. And I'm telling you, this is a trip and a half. This is so good. If you like, oh, look at this. Look at the vinyl. Oh my God, it's cool. It's beautiful. This album is a gorgeous display of Latin sensibility with, I'll say with kind of American funk mixed in, and it's just a beautiful quilt of those two things together, just hitting each other and just coming up with this really beautiful Beautiful, beautiful, funky music. And I could play this over and over. I could just flip it over and flip it over and flip it over. Over and over again, and just keep playing it. It'd be Groundhog's Day with me with this. I have to really force myself to take this off the turntable. It's that good. And I love the artwork. But I've had it on CD for a long time. And it was a few years since I had listened to it in the past. So when I picked it up, I figured, well, I know this. I don't really have to play it. But then I put it on, and I was like, I forgot how good this was. It was like hearing it for the first time. And I have not been able to put this away because I just keep playing. I can't put it away in my collection because I said, this is, when it has to be out, I got to keep playing this. Whenever I feel like playing something that's going to make me feel good, I put this on. It's so good. Ocote Sounds, Soul Sounds, and Adrian Casada doing El Nino y El Sol. Definitely. If you passed on this one, sorry for you on that one. There might be 1 or 2 copies of these around. I would think that there might be a few of these around. I'm not sure. But yeah, if you can find this, pick it up. Pick it up. It's good. It's good. You should have had this for your New Year's Eve party. It's good stuff. Anyway, so that's about takes it up to size there. We're getting closer and closer to New Year's. I don't even know what time it is. It's probably about 10 o'clock or something, 11 o'clock. Probably about 10 o'clock. I don't know what time it is. I really don't. I haven't been paying attention. Been doing other things. But in any case, it's not yet the new year. But I just want to say to you that it's been a wonderful year. It's been a trying year. It's been wonderful. I was able to go to Europe for the first time. I went to London and to Paris, which I loved. I love both places. I particularly fell in love with Paris and was able to utilize my study of French, which was really cool. I did get injured earlier this year and didn't realize it until a few months ago. And I tore a meniscus in my left knee on both sides. Had to get surgery for that. I'm all healed up from that now, so it's all good. And now I'm on a trajectory to lose weight, so that way I'm not putting all this weight on my knee. So you might see a thinner Scott in 2024. Fingers crossed. So I'm taking some action with that kind of things. And once I get my mind on something, it's hard for me to not do it. So I think you're going to see a different person. And that'll be good. That'll be good. I won't be filling the screen up so much. And anyway, I've met some really great people, even if it has been online and on screen. Rachel from Rachel's Ghosts is amazing. She's just been a real inspiration to me and a real, just a real inspiration to me. She's been very supportive of my channel. I really, really love, I'm just going to throw out some names of some, there's a guy who does the Buttery, I think it's Buttery, and I think he's from New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a really good channel. Of course, Mazzy. Mazzy's the guy that, you know, he's the one that I first saw Too Many Records, but then when I saw Mazzy, I was hooked. And I never thought I'd ever be doing this, but watching Mazzy doing his whack-a-moles and his diary stuff, I went, okay, I think I might want to do this. This is kind of an interesting thing to try. So I want to thank Mazzy for that. Also, Derek out there, he does a video every single day. Derek Vaughn, he's another inspiration for me because he's so painfully honest and fearless, and he's a musician as well, and I just love the guy. Waxed, I had a love-hate relationship with Wax in the beginning, but I get Wax now, and so, you know, Wax, another person who gives me the confidence to just be myself and just be honest and be unapologetic, which is really cool. And also met some other people out there, Johnny L, Bill K, Chance out there, Chance, Concert Buddy. God, can't not talk about you. Wyoming Dave out there, Ruth Ann. And of course, I can't talk about Rachel without saying Scoozy. So, Sue, big hugs. Happy New Year's to everybody. I know I've probably forgotten a few people out there. Man Cave, Chris from the Man Cave. He loves his jazz grails. And yeah, I know I'm forgetting people, but you know I love you guys. And it's just been a real wonderful time. Did I say Johnny L? I think I did say Johnny L. And 2024, we'll see what happens. And the ghosties are coming up in January. That's really cool. Oh, how could I forget the Gunkles? Craig, Richard, Robert, even though he pisses me off, and Mike. You guys are hilarious. You do the best. Oh, Nadine, Nadine in Germany, and also John in Clearwater. Talking about Music Talk John, and also John Six's pianist over in England. I can't forget you guys. Happy New Year's to all of you, and if I haven't mentioned you, I'm sorry. But Happy New Year's and peace and love and prosperity for the new year, and definitely peace. We definitely need that. That's number one. We got to work on that all over the world, and also in this country too. We got to get ourselves back together somehow, because we're fractured. But I know that the possibilities are there, because there's so many people in the VC community coming from different places, different mentalities, different political views, and we still somehow, and also different sexualities, different races, different religions, and somehow we all seem to, I think music brings us all together, but also it's our passion for music and our passion to just communicate with people. And I think that's the coolest thing about the VC, is that it gives me hope to say that, not all is lost, because there's so many different people doing this. And I'm just happy to be just one little person in this. So Happy New Year's, everybody. And we'll see you on the other side. We'll see you next year. All right. Take care.